Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our customer partnership group for the congestion revenue rights. Today, we'll be speaking on the 2026 pre-auction meeting. The goal of this meeting is to provide key details of the upcoming 2026 annual auction, and this is to ensure that you all have the right information in preparation for this. We also would like to walk through the relationship between existing intertie scheduling points and respective most adjacent generation aggregation points and gaps. This discussion is critical for understanding how the elements interact in the auction framework. So this meeting is slightly different from our previous CPG monthly calls. So we appreciate everyone's feedback during this meeting. As we get started, this call is being recorded for informational and convenience purposes only. Any related transcription should not be reprinted without the ISO's permission. In this meeting, we also will have a opportunity to ask questions, so we definitely encourage everyone's perspective. As well, we encourage comments to be both professional and respectful at all times, and also please refrain from repeating something that has been previously said. Our meeting materials will be provided on the link below on the kaiso.com under meeting events and under congestion revenue rights settlement upgrade project customer partnership group. At this time, I'll be providing that link for this presentation so you can all follow along if you like. And then to ask a question during the WebEx queue, we do have the opportunity for those who are logged in the WebEx to click the raise hand on the lower middle screen. You'll be added to our question queue. When you're added to the question queue, please keep your hand raised and we will select on you to ask a question or a comment. Please introduce your full name and affiliation before speaking. And if you do have a question to submit through chat, you're also welcome to, but also provide that affiliation as well. We have the closed captioning available under the CCs on the left side of the screen if you like to read along the comments are being said during the recording. And the transparency viewer is also available for those who want to see who's online. You will have to click refresh periodically to see the most up-to-date list. And for today's agenda, we'll go ahead. I'll be introducing Jeremy Malekos, who is our senior manager for the production team. He'll be covering a few topics, and then he'll be introducing Khaled, who is also our VP, and will be providing a few comments after the CRR EDAM implementation update. We also have a few folks on our panelist group. We have Philip Roth, who's also a market design lead, and also Jesse, who's also a market design engineer lead as well for his team that will be providing updates for today's call. And then I'll close out with next steps about the next meetings we have this week. And we thank everyone for everyone's flexibility as we move this meeting from our normal monthly call, and we appreciate everyone's attendance. And at this time, I'll go ahead and introduce Jeremy, who's in the room at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Good morning. And you saw the agenda. There's the two items we just wanted to discuss. The RDFID PSLF mapping for the 2026 auction. We've had several city tickets on this. And then we wanted to talk about the auction, the annual auction that we're opening and make sure there's clarity across the board on what we're moving forward with, which is status quo, but we'll get there. So on the RDFID mapping to PSLF mapping, we are using DB 135 for the 2026 auction market, which you've seen in the August and the September monthly markets. We've posted that mapping to everybody through the portal. The location is listed right there on that second bullet. As part of our reporting transition, we've been talking about this for a while. We're sunsetting the RDFID to PSLF mapping as this reflects changes in the way that the new SIM model that the new CRR application gets. So our market reports use the RDFID names directly rather than the PSLF identifiers. So we will provide a final mapping for our December 2025 model, and then at that point, we've sunsetted that mapping. So at this point, I'll take any questions regarding this mapping if there are any, and if you have a city ticket open, we have actually seen or we've actually met with several companies to walk through how they can do their mapping on their own, and we've provided tutorials on it. So I'll take any questions on this if there are any.
First question, Cal, please be sure to introduce yourself. Thank you.
Go ahead, Cal. Might be double muted. All right, while the person comes off on mute, Brenda, they're not seeing the slides posted yet. Can you double check on that?
Yes, and we'll go next to Hugh.
From SCE. Thanks, guys, for setting up this meeting. I have a question about the mapping between RDFID and the PSF. So because in the day-ahead market, all the network congestion posted in the OSs for the day-ahead market is based on the PSF name. If we sunset the mapping between the PSF name and RDFID, there's no way for the users to bridge the gap between the CRR market and the day-ahead market, because all the name in the CRR full network model will be based on the RDFID instead of a PSF name. So there's no clue for the users to know which line that binding in the CRR market that is also binding in the PSF market. Sorry, in the day-ahead market.
Yeah, thank you, Hugh. So we've shown you how to do the mapping outside of the CRR application, right? So we don't. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Where do you show us outside the CRR market? Where,
well, I mean, we've provided.
Does CAISO also publish up-to-date full network model mapping between the RDFID and PSF somewhere other than the CRR full network model?
We don't publish the mapping that I'm aware of. We publish the components for you to do the mapping.
Then what is the component for us to do the mapping? Because I'm not aware of, sorry, I'm not aware of such a component, because the RDFID is ID that is a unique ID used in the FNM, right? And the day-ahead market, all the congestion is based on PSF name instead of the RDFID.
We think. Yeah. Jessie?
Yeah,
Yes.
she has a raised hand. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, so for this RDFID, it's in the FNM model, and same as PSLF name. It's also in the FNM model. I believe as the entities who sign maybe the agreement should have access to the full network model, and then you can have the PSLF name there. Because we are the downstream application. We are not creating the FNM model. The CRR team is not creating the FNM model. We are using the model. So we cannot, for us, I just use the model. I cannot like manipulate the model or create a name. So we also the user for the FNM model. So all the information are in the FNM model.
Yeah, I understand.
Also
so,
the PSLF name.
Yeah, right. I'm assuming the FNM model you are referring to is the FNM model used for the day-ahead market, right? Because right now we have different FNM model. One is used for the spot market for the day-ahead and real-time. Another is for the CRR.
For the name,
right?
I believe that for RDFID and PSLF name, they're all coming from the same model.
Yeah, right. All coming from the day-ahead market, from the spot market. However, in the past, in the current day-ahead, in the current CR process, you guys publish the mapping between the RDFID and the PSF. That's great because that's bridge the gap between the CR market and the day-ahead market.
Yeah.
However, based on the plan, in the future, this mapping will be sunset by the end of this year, right? And you also mentioned the mapping, the spot market, day-ahead market, FNM is posted somewhere for that included the mapping between the RDFID and the PSF name mapping. But unfortunately, I'm not aware of where CAISO posted those information. And also because right now, the full net model is promoted every 2 months. So that means the topology of the whole CAISO market keeps changing every two months. Is there anywhere CAISO pass those information that keep up to date to the current day-ahead market and return market? That I'm not aware of.
I recall our FNM model team post the model to, I know it's definitely not CAISO.com, but some security website people who have certificate can access. They will have the most updated model, probably ahead of CRR markets, CRR model even created, because we create a model after the model go to production. So we're a few days or like 1 day or 2 days later than the production model. So I think you have the source there to check. And also for CRR markets, we don't use PSLF name in any of our allocation reports, binding constraints.
Yeah, I understand that. The problem for us because we calibrate, because eventually all the CRs is calibrated based on the day-ahead market, right? So we need to compare our results, also refer to the day-ahead market. So for the users, that's very important for all the CRR users, this name mapping. So you mentioned that this information is posted somewhere other than the CRR, the website. So where can we find out those information?
Wait, this is Jeremy. So, wait, why don't, do you have an open city ticket on this, or did we close it?
I opened it a long time ago.
Right, right. Well, I think
we have come back for several months for those kind of issues, and then it was closed by the CAISO. Yeah.
Right. So let us. Why don't we take this offline and see if we can figure out how to get you the information you need. Maybe the way that we've provided it isn't working. So let's take that offline, and we'll work through. If that city ticket's closed, we'll have you open up another one.
So then,
okay.
Thank you. And whom I should contact? Is there any specific personnel and contact so that I can follow up?
You can. Well, you've been following up with Jesse, so we'll contact you through the city ticket.
So that means, do I need to open a new city ticket?
Yeah, let's start another one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then we'll bring in, and then we'll see how we can help you out. I know that so let's, are there any other questions? I know there was a question about holding off on sunsetting the legacy annual CRR website. So I'm looking into that. Brenda, was there any other questions?
Yes, we did get a question on the location of the procedures and create, like, for example, they want to create mapping themselves and provide a timeline of this procedure. Would that be the BPM for CR? We can provide the link to that.
Yeah, we can provide that link.
Okay, I'll
Where
send it
we're-
over in the chat. We do have
All right.
another raised hand.
Go ahead.
Deb from LCG Consulting. Go ahead.
I just heard you guys kind of saying that you're going to take all that offline. I think that mapping, whatever kind of details about the mapping that you're about to unveil, will be very interesting to us as well. Is there some way we can?
So the mapping we're referring to is mapping that we're sunsetting. So it's the RDF ID to PSLF mapping. And we have documentation on our website we'll post on how customers can do the mapping on their own. Previously, for years, the CRR team has been manually posting this mapping as it was used in our old model. And so it's not used in our model anymore. So we're sunsetting that report. And so customers have always been asking how to map it. So that, I think, for them, maybe there's a different issue, but we've shown we're providing the mapping through the end of the year, and then we've got a link that we'll post here shortly on documentation on how to do the mapping yourself. So I think the mapping you might be referring to is what we proposed as an EDAM implementation, and that we'll get to our next slide. Is that correct?
I think so. I mean, we're going to want to make sure that we can connect up the between the day ahead market as well, so we can kind of, when we do, we're like doing some power flow kind of stuff as well. So we want to be able to make sure we can do that. And it just sort of, the way you guys said it was coming offline, we'll explain stuff online. I thought maybe there would be some tricks that we would miss by not being a part of that conversation.
I gotcha. So if you're struggling based upon the training that we've provided on how to do the mapping, open up a city ticket and we will provide you a response.
Okay. All right. Well,
okay.
We'll see how it goes. I think it's.
Yeah. All right. All right. Is that the link?
Yes, I did.
To the mapping?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the link to the mapping is in the chat. If you still have a question or can't figure that out, please open up the city ticket. If we get enough of those and we have a common update that we need to do, we'll post that as to everybody that's on our distribution list. All right, moving on to the next slide if there are no other questions. All right, so we did move this customer focus group up a week so that we could address and alleviate any uncertainty around the annual auction that opens up this Friday and closes mid next week, and we post the results on the 21st for the 2025 annual. And would just like to make sure everybody understands we're not going to make any changes now or mid-year next year. So as you can see here, we're still going to go with, we have our standard SP tie mapping that we do today, where we have single point, single source sync, and what you have in the model that you've seen in the Tier 1 allocation, Tier 2 allocation, and now you've been working on strategizing your portfolios on for the annual auction will be the same. So we're not changing anything. You'll see the same thing in the monthly also. So as we were originally or started to communicate that we were going to have a EDAM transition period where we were going to move to the SP tie to DGAP tie mapping. And that mapping we provided, which I'll explain here in a minute, we are going to consider 2026 a transition period where we won't be changing from the annual modeling that we're doing now to the monthly. So you can go into this annual auction knowing that the modeling and the way we're going to be executing it in 2026 will continue to be the same. I can read through the bullet points, but I will pause here for any questions.
Well, can I give the context first,
Yes,
Jeremy?
yes.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is Khalid. Good morning. So just to provide the context around this, the ISO has heard the many comments that we had about and that we received over the course of the different implementation workshops that we did on the topic of the intertie scheduling, the California intertie scheduling practice that we currently have. And these many comments that we have received is indicating to us that the participants need a little bit more time to evaluate the impact on the business of moving the SP tie location to a different places. What does that mean? What does it mean in terms of the pricing that we will be using for those locations? And what does it mean from even a contract and agreements that is already in place? As a result of that, we are going to be proposing, and we have more discussion on this topic on Friday in the workshop that we will go in more detail. But we wanted to give you this news here for the sake of having the clarity on the CRR annual model that we will be using the existing California ISO scheduling points that we're currently doing, that you are already familiar with, that you are using, and both the annual and the monthly for the year of the 2026 will continue to use that, because during this transition period, we will be talking more on Friday that the EDAM or the day-ahead market will also continue to support the existing scheduling points. There was a lot of discussion about the multiplicity of prices and all of that. So all of this will be hopefully addressed on Friday to ensure that we have the one price that the participants are looking for, which is the current practice that we currently have. So we're hoping that we can transition to the tie or a D-gap tie concept, which I think everybody sees the benefit of the accuracy and the benefit that it brings. But it looks like we need a little bit of time to give the market in order to realign and to evaluate the impact in a more reasonable time, rather than rushing into moving changes like this and maybe we're missing something. So we will give both the market participants as well as ourselves more time as a transition period, the 2026. So for May 1st, 2026, when Pacific Corp goes live, the California ISO interties will still be an option that is supported, and we will talk more about how we can accomplish that on Friday. So bringing it back to the CRR again, the annual CRR will be running like usual on whatever the SP ties that we have, sources and sinks. The monthly also auctions will be conducted the normal way. There will be no conversion of CRRs as we go live with the EDAM. Nothing of that. We will be basically delaying and giving the market a little bit of time to realign. Okay. Jeremy, you can open it for questions.
Yeah, I'll open for questions right now. I will say that the information that we posted the last couple of days on the SP tie to D-gap tie mapping, it's a reflection of the current CAISO scheduling points that are adjacent to the BAD gaps, and those are what we would be considering and potentially using as we evaluate after that transition period. So it's something that we could move to. We wanted to give that to you. We had several questions, people asking about where those locations would be, and so that would be the mapping. It'd be a one-time mapping if that's where we ended up moving to. So that's what that data was that we posted We posted 2 forms, so you'll see one that's public, and you'll see one that's in the full network model site if you have access to that. All right. I'll open it. Brenda, can you open for questions?
Yes, let's go ahead and get Seth lined up first. Thank you.
Yeah, so if I'm hearing you right, the CRRs are being auctioned under the, the SPTI design. And when we get to 2026, they will continue to settle at the SPTI. And so first I want to confirm, is that correct?
Yes, you're correct. The California SPTIs will continue to be the ones that are supported in both the CRR as well as the EDAM. There is a nuance around the SPTIs that California has inside Pacific Corp, like in particular Mona and Greg-View. And those we will be also discussing on Friday what is the plan for them, because those are inside an EDAM area. But for anything outside the EDAM area, we will continue to support it. Your CRR there. Even those ones that we have inside the Pacific Corp, they will be available for the CRR. These are valid CRR locations, so no impact on the CRR. But we would like to maybe talk a little bit more on the from an EDAM point of view, since they are in an EDAM area. What does that mean in terms of the schedules that people can where can people put their schedule for those? But the hedge or the CRR, let's say on those ties, will continue to be supported. You will continue to be able to hedge from that location because those are like more of a transfer location, we call them in the EDAM. So you will continue to have the capability to hedge between that scheduling point and the across the TSR or across the transfer resource that we will be defining between California and Pacific Corp. And more on that on Friday. But as far as CRR, no change. You can also continue to have your CRR purchase there, and it will hedge that congestion between the scheduling point across the TSR.
Okay, that was a lot. This is Seth with VTOL. That was a lot of information. But what I'm hearing is that you're making a distinction between interties that are sourced from an area outside of EDAM and those that are sourced from an area inside EDAM.
That's right. For scheduling purposes, but for CRR, they're looking the same. So you can still buy CRRs from those locations to hedge, because from a scheduling point of view, this is like more of a transfer now. So when you buy the CRR, you are actually hedging across that transfer between PAC and.
But what I hear you saying is CRRs that are interties, say like with Pacific Corp, those are not going to be, those still are not going to be mapped to like a DGAP or something like that. But what I'm thinking through is that the LMP settlement in the day-ahead market will still have the gap prices. So I'm just wondering like how the hedge will work.
Hi, this is James Lynn. So in the day-ahead market, when you're participating in PAC and using Mona, let's say, as a transfer location, you're participating at the resource unless you have firm rights to get from that resource to the transfer location. So if you have a generator in PAC, you'll be bidding at the generator. If you have load in the ISO, you'll be bidding at the load, and vice versa if it's going the opposite direction. What's going to happen is the CRR is going to give you a hedge on your congestion exposure on that path between the transfer location to your corresponding resource within the ISO. but you're not going to be able to schedule on the transfer unless you have long-term firm rights on either side, in essence. So you lose your scheduling on that transfer location.
So that location, those are not valid for scheduling in the day-ahead market, but they are valid for a CRR source and sink, pairs. And you will continue to get the hedge for the CRR value. The value for the CRR will continue to give you that hedge. It's just there is a nuance around the scheduling in the day ahead, because those are not locations where people can put a bid inside the EDAM area. We'll talk Friday on, maybe like give you even a diagram of what does that mean for those, only those two locations that we have.
So just to be clear, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, is the PAC oat will provide you the hedge in their BAA.
Yeah, if you have.
The CRR is providing the congestion hedge within our BA. So.
Okay. So on Friday, you'll have examples of how that CRR would settle.
Yeah, I think we can talk about that on Friday. We can, talk it, but it's going to be more, the Friday will be more focused on the scheduling and the impact on that, on the scheduling. As the CRR, I think the financial value for the CRR is going to still continue to be maintained. Like, it will provide you the hedge from that point inside California, so which is the same way that you are getting it today. And if you have a transmission right or something with Pacific Corp, that will give you the other part of it, which is the that is more related to where we say you can schedule this transaction, whether it is on a resource inside the EDAM area or whether it is an import to the EDAM area. We will go through those two scenarios on Friday. But bringing it back to the CRR, whatever you're buying today to make the hedge for your transaction from that point inside California, that will continue to be supported and maintained. Hopefully that answered your question, unless.
Yeah, I think I'll save it for Friday and see if it's clear to me then. It's sort of clear to me, but not totally. Thanks.
Yeah, we will go. I mean, as I said, we received a lot of comments that the proposed tie gap and especially for the California intertie is creating a lot of confusion, and maybe even not confusion in the sense that people don't understand it. It's just they need more time to evaluate the impacts of those changes. Even though everybody agrees that there is some benefit that can get out of it, but how fast we can move to a model like that is questionable. And because of that, we will be proposing on Friday that we'll give you more time. We'll give ourselves and the market more time to look into this and the need to implement something like the DGAP tie. So because of that, the CRR now gets the clarity that it needs to be able to run the annual, because the same CRRs that you are buying today for whatever reason you would like, you can continue to do that for the annual as well as the monthly. So we're trying to give you that certainty that for all 2026, we will be supporting what we are supporting today.
All right. Brenda, any additional questions or hands raised?
Yes, we do have a few hands raised. First, we have Dan Williams from the Energy Authority. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dan Williams from the Energy Authority. So I share Seth's thought that very excited to get into the conversation on Friday, but I don't want to jump past the fact that this is a major change and a major response by CAISO that I think all are appreciative of, and don't want to miss the opportunity to say thank you to CAISO for listening to stakeholders, and also just to Khaled, your team, and James, George, all of those that put a bunch of effort into coming up with the ideas around the gap ties and thinking through potential solutions there. I think they've created a great start for us to get back together as a stakeholder community in 2026 and kind of figure out what makes sense for 2027 or 2028 as the next step in moving this all forward. So we TEA rushed in some comments last night that I think aligned with a lot of what DMM said in their comments on the expectation that we wouldn't be sort of getting to a conclusion on this until Friday or later. But I look forward to putting in some more comments and examples maybe today if I can to get a start on some of the questions that we had for Friday for just how to think about those specific EDAM transfer points at the CAISO interties. And yeah, so just wanted to say thank you and look forward to that discussion on Friday.
Yeah, and thank you, Dan. I think this is great, and we're hopefully that also this makes our discussion Friday and forward a little bit less stressful, because we're not like going to be having to change, the practices all of a sudden. So that gives, as I said, both parties, more time and to think about like all aspects of this change and not rush into something that we could regret in the future, right? Thank you.
Next, we have Steve Key from SCE. Go ahead.
Keen from Edison. I'm sorry if you already said this and I just missed it, but I'm trying to understand. I realize you're changing how the CRRs will be treated, but the scheduling, once we get to EDAM, is that going to move to the tie points as well, tie scheduling points, or is that going to stay as you described it last week with the gap ties points, or is there?
So
it basically is going to be an option for you can do either.
For California ISO ties, we will maintain the scheduling at the scheduling points that you currently are familiar with. There is a special treatment for California ISO scheduling points that are inside Pacific Core in particular. We have one in PAC East called Mona, and we have one in PAC West called Gragview. Those ones, we will talk about how we deal with them, because you cannot just put a schedule, a bid on those inside the EDAM area. But if it is outside the EDAM area, all of our scheduling points, there is no change there from a scheduling point of view. From a CRR point of view, there is no change between those inside EDAM or outside EDAM. We will support all of them, and you can buy the CRR and hedge across those. But the scheduling is the thing that we will not talk about, and the on Friday we will say, okay, how do you want to put a schedule? Like if you're currently putting a schedule on that tie, what does it mean in the future? How are you going to move that schedule, and where do you want to move it? And then also maybe even touch base on, okay, what does CRR buy you by procuring a CRR at that location? Because the same value that is providing today, hedge across the California, inside California balancing area, you will continue to have that hedge for congestion. But in terms of scheduling, Steve, we can clarify what does it mean, where do you take that schedule? And we will have an example to show that on Friday.
Okay. Are you planning on at least still calculating what the prices would be at the
yes.
at the gap? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will continue we will calculate the prices. We will show you, and we will also talk maybe hopefully Friday, or maybe, you know, now that we're saying we are not rushing into this. So if Friday is not enough, we will have multiple other workshops to continue to discuss among ourselves, you know, with our participants, what other gaps that we need to define now versus later, and anything that we define a gap, we will publish the price regardless if you schedule or you don't schedule on that gap. We will make sure that we publish that. So that transition period not only delays the scheduling or delays those changes, but it will also give you opportunity to see the prices on those tie D gap.
Yeah, can I just ask how you're going to, if people are scheduling at the tie scheduling points, how is that going to get essentially distributed to the D gaps to allow you to have prices at the D gaps?
Yeah, so on Friday, we have,
okay.
we are proposing our, you know, there are two choices, and I don't want to jump, you know, into that because.
Okay, all right.
That's fine. But you can take it that the status quo, which is putting the injection at the same scheduling point, is on the table right now to be discussed on Friday, right?
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Next, we have Kelly Wells from WPTF.
Hey, Kelly.
First of all, I want to echo Dan's appreciation to the CAISO and the staff for really listening to stakeholders and coming back to us with this update. I think, Khaled, I agree. I'm really looking forward to the conversation on Friday. I think this will enable a lot more understanding and time for stakeholders to wrap their minds around the impact. Actually, between, I think, Seth, Dan, and Steve, most of my questions were asked and answered or kind of deferred to Friday. So the only one I have is you mentioned that you posted the tie to DGAP mapping somewhere publicly. Brenda, are you able to share that in the chat? I must have missed it somewhere on the website.
Yes, I will share one. I know we haven't posted the public version one, so the one that I will post will only require you to have an NDA version. So just keep that in mind when I send that out. Thank you.
So can you let us know then where the public version will be posted and when?
Yeah, my team will provide that soon. Let me ask them when they get a chance.
Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
It is ready, right, for in terms of the public version I'm talking about.
Yep.
It's supposed to be ready. So it's just mechanics of the posting, Kelly, hopefully as soon as possible.
Okay, and will it be on the CRR page, or do you guys know if you're going to put it in the EDM policy process page?
We were planning on putting it on the CRR CPG meeting notes, where we're posting this slide deck and all that.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
Yeah.
That's probably the best place for it.
Yeah. No, I think so. Yep. No, that works. Thank you. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But remember, right now the CRR is not doing anything with that mapping right now. But this is just a potential. It's just the closest. It's just information. Take it as information about what is the closest electrically adjacent balancing area to the current scheduling point.
Right.
That's all.
Yep.
What it is.
Which is the process we use in our CRR system.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
All right. Brenda?
Next week. Michael Kramick. Let's go ahead. Please introduce yourself.
Wanted to echo Callie and Dan's points about thanking the ISO for providing the feedback today. I just want to make sure I completely understand, because bids are due Friday for the auction, and my guess is when the stakeholder discussion is going on, our team's going to be submitting bids. So absent the 2 points that you mentioned, Khaled, the Mona and Craig View, all other schedules coming into the ISO will be scheduled at the existing SP tie points. Is that accurate?
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Michael. I think he's from Boston Energy. Thank you so much. Next, we have Q. I think he's back up for another quick question. Oh, no, he dropped his hand. Mohammed, you're next. Please be sure to introduce yourself. Thank you.
Hello, this is Mohammed Akrawi with FNY. Thank you guys for this kind of change. It makes a lot of sense to not move forward with the proposed changes. I just one main question is, it looks like the DGAP mapping. I mean the DGAP to bus level mapping already exists because CAISO is generating DGAP prices. Is there any plan to actually publish this data anywhere so the market participants can have an idea of what the makeup for the DGAPs are?
I think we are currently publishing in the market simulation. We have the DGAP tie, right?
We have a price. I think he's looking for the definition of the DGAP.
Oh, the definition. But is this in definition in terms of? Yeah, in definition, Mohammed.
Of the DGAP, probably.
It's like what the children of that DGAP will contain.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have it anywhere. Actually, it's just in a balancing area.
I don't think we published. This is probably the same question we had in the meeting. They want the full network model in market simulation. We don't have that available at this time. We won't have it available till we get closer to parallel.
Yeah. Okay, now I understand. And I took an action item, Mohammed, from the workshop, I think, to try to expedite the publishing of the DGAP during the parallel operation. And now that we, we're giving ourselves a little bit more time, so I think we can, we have more time. But we're trying maybe during the parallel operation or, depending on the where we're going to publish it, right? Because, it's not, after Friday, maybe we will know exactly which DGAPs that we're talking about and how many and all of that. And then we can probably commit to a time for the publishing. But we are open to the idea and we are open to, part of the transitional period is actually to give you time to see the prices on those DGAP. And in order to do that, we will have to give you the definition as well as part of not only the price. So we'll take that into consideration, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It would be great to increase the amount of data that is published from the FNM for the AIM entities. Like currently on Oasis, there's basically just the gen resource mapping. And that data is becoming much more, vital to the market as CAISO expands. So it would be great if you guys would provide more of the FNM mapping for the external areas as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Brenda?
Yes, next we have Doug Busciani. Go ahead. Please introduce yourself.
For the Bay Area Municipal Transmission Group. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. It sounds like what you're proposing is that the intertie CRRs will be settled as they are today and sort of originally envisioned, and including applying the phase 1B adjustments. Is that right?
Correct.
And then the congestion associated with EDAM transfers will be addressed consistent with the EDAM CRR.
I'm going to rephrase that, Doug. So congestion on the transfers will be considered in the CR1B calculations.
Okay.
So it's not going away. It's just that even though you can't schedule there anymore, congestion associated with those transfer locations where we optimally use the transfers, that congestion will still be an input into the CRR settlement.
Right, but for the external rights holders, the treatment is part of the EDAM tariff will apply for them, like the impact on their.
When you say external, you're talking about within Pacific Corp's BA or outside the market overall?
With outside of CAISO in Pacific Corp.
Okay. So that I'm being very careful in asking that question. So for congestion associated with EDAM BAAs such as Pacific Corp, the Congestion Revenue Allocation Initiative is going, and discussions on CRR associated with that initiative will apply. So if you have congestion in an EDAM BAA, that ISO schedules are impacted, that is still not being used to fund CRRs at this time. We are going to have an additional initiative to discuss that in the near future.
Great. Yes. So this is not changing any of that.
Not changing.
Correct.
Yeah, and then just one comment. It sounds like I think it would be helpful for informing the future discussion of this issue, to think through like how can information about shift factors for the DGAPs and the relationship. I'm thinking about the concept George mentioned in the previous meeting that, you know, there might the net impact of the DGAPs once we move to that, if and when that happens, might be similar to what happens today with the phase 1B adjustments. And anything you can do, I know it's difficult because those adjustments are applied on a portfolio basis, but since we are talking about intertie related impacts, there might be some approximations that could be used that would be helpful for people to understand the impacts in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the idea, like if we, you know, when we talk about the DGAP and the impact of that and what DGAP that we are using and what shift factor that it has, I think all of these needs to be discussed and shown. So we have more time to work it out, like you said. But it is a factor that needs to be taken into account in these discussions.
Yeah. Great, thank you.
All right, we have 5 minutes left. Brenda?
Yeah. Hugh, if you like to just a quick question or comment. I know we had your answered question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I have a question about the schedule point. So where the schedule point, the Pinot name still be used in the EDAM, or they will be replaced by the DGAP name in the EDAM?
No, it's going to be the same exact name that you are using today. So we're not changing any names on you. It's a status quo.
Oh, okay. So that means in the future, we're still using the schedule point associated Pinot name in the market.
So when I say the future, we're talking about 2026.
Yeah.
Right? And the EDAM market will continue for the 2026, we'll continue to use the same scheduling point and names and all of that. But it's subject to discussion later on to see, you know, what we want to do with the DGAP. There may be a proposal to continue to use the same name, but now that single P node maybe becomes an aggregate, you know, that's possible, but we don't want to decide right now anything until we have this discussion with the stakeholders and see what is appropriate versus not appropriate.
Okay. So another question is about the DGAP, BPAT, that DGAP, that is associated with the Malin 500 ISO and NOB ITC. So in the current day market, there are two schedule point name, Malin _5_1 101, that's
Yeah.
corresponding to Marine 500 ISL. Another one is
Yeah.
Selma DC _2_ M501. That is for the Nobai TC.
Yeah.
So those two in the current market are located in the different location. For the Marine, it's located in the north of Kaiso, is in the BP area. Where Selma DC is located in the LDWP. That's is south of the Pass 26. So I saw in the D gap in the D gap name the both mapped to the same D gap, that D gap BPAT. That means in the future when calculate the price, the both will be both based in the DPA area.
So, you know, I think we can get more into the DGAP discussion on Friday in the intertie scheduling and the DGAP. But for the CRR, again, this is not a, you know, it's not important. That information that we are publishing on the SP tie DGAP is just a starting point for some future discussion for the intertie schedules. So if you can hold that question till we have that workshop, I think that will be more appropriate. And as I said, we are very open to moving those DGAPs, renaming, maintaining the same name for the scheduling point. All of that is possible, mechanically possible, and I would like to, you know, start the discussion with a more open-minded from our side to the needs of the participants. So I'd like to maybe defer that if you don't mind to the Friday.
Yeah, he just lowered his hand, Khaled, but yeah, I think he heard you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I know we're running close to time, and thank you so much for the question. Just a quick overview of the meetings that we were referencing in today's call. We do have that EDAM on Friday from 11 to 3. You can also follow that notice that was just linked up yesterday, a few days ago. And also we have a storage call happening right now as well. But if you have any questions, this presentation has been posted, and also in the chat, I provided that update. We'll be posting that publicly, the DGAP mapping Excel spreadsheet today as well. Thank you so much, everyone, and we look forward for your future engagement. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, just to summarize, the auction that we're opening up this Friday, no changes, business as usual, and there are several questions we have on the PSLF, or RDFID to PSLF mapping. We will post a training document on that and respond to city tickets, and then we will be publishing the public version that we show as the DGAP to SP tie mapping for discussion on Friday. All right. Thank you, everybody. Go ahead, Brenda. You can take us out.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. We can go ahead and close the call.
This event has concluded. Thank you for using event services. You may now disconnect.